Hey guys, this is here from DifferenceInSkill, bringing you guys the Q&A that I was supposed to do about a week ago. I was busy all week. I thought I would have some time off, but I was pretty busy, and now just managed to have a chance to do it. So here we go. Here are the questions. I'm not going to go through all of them, because there's a lot of questions. I'm going to go through some main ones. Do you know when Chan will be back? Chan was back today. That was an easy one. Does Garmore's limit break only be used once or more? If by limit break you mean the plus 5k, every time you attack, if you have more damage, you can use the limit break. So, pretty standard there. What is more important at qualifiers, power or consistency? I'm gonna have to go with consistency here, mostly because it's a best of one format. And if you hit like hard 3 out of your 4 games, that 1 out of 4 game will probably cost you the game because, I mean, you either get grade stuck or whatever, and in a best of 1 format, that kills you. So in qualifiers, I think the most important thing is definitely consistency. I've seen a lot of power decks. Well, what's a power deck really? Spike Brothers, for example. It hasn't really been topping anywhere. It hasn't been barely been played actually. Which is actually surprising because it's pretty powerful. It hits hard. But yeah, if you miss a ride or something, then you're basically dead, and it has no way of tutoring or anything. So its consistency in terms of being able to get rides, etc., it's nothing special. So yeah, power over consistency over power, definitely in my opinion. How did you get to know Chan? Chan and I actually went to the same high school. I don't know if he remembers, but back in grade 8, so first year of high school in Canada, or at least in BC. We were actually in the same, one of the same classes. I don't know if he remembers that. And we never really actually talked a lot. Never actually really, never really became friends or anything until like about grade 11-ish, summer of grade 11 maybe or something. Yeah, where I got into Yugioh, and he was a guy to go to apparently. So yeah, I started to get to talk to him more and whatnot. And then we went from Yugioh and then now to Vanguard. So yeah, I've been friends with him for about three to 4 years. So yeah, 3 years maybe. Yeah. Let's see what other questions. What's your thought? Deck with no heal triggers. Deck with no heal triggers. My plans could operate well without them. I guess if you're not going to go with any heal triggers, then you better be going with critical triggers. And if you're going with more critical triggers over heal triggers, then that means that you're going 12 crit. So 12 crit is the only thing that I can see being legit. But the only clans that have access to 12 crit right now are Grand Blue, Royal Paladin, and Kagero. Huh. Would I do 12 crit Kagero? Only in Aquifer, and that's a maybe. But if I was going to go 12 crit and no heal trigger, I would either do Aquifer Kagero. I wouldn't do Royal Paladin yet. I'd wait until next set, with set 4 with the doggies and stuff, because you can get a lot of field presence real quickly, and then you can take advantage of those 12 crits. So 12 crit, not until the doggies come out. And in Grand Blue, 12 crit to be honest, Grand Blue is one of the better Grand Blue builds, so definitely in Grand Blue, because they don't have a lot going for them. So yeah, if you're going to go 12 crit with no heal triggers, not Royal Paladin yet, Aquifer Kagero maybe, but I don't see why you wouldn't just go 12 crit for draw. I don't see why you would not want to play heal triggers. Like, why would you want to go 12 crit for draw? Yeah, sure. If you're not gonna go heal triggers, then yeah, just 12 crit. Cause what else? Like 4 stand, 4 draw, 8 crit. That's silly. No. What other questions? Oh, this one. Do you think any card games require a lot of skill? Because Vanguard is mostly just luck with your triggers. Vanguard is actually a lot more than just luck with your triggers. And to be honest, if anything is proof of that, it is our channel. Because a lot of people have PM'd us saying, it's like, oh, I've been watching your videos since the beginning, it's helped me get better. You know, this X video helped me understand this better. And Vanguard is not mostly luck. It's not mostly luck. There's a fair amount of skill involved. You've got attack orders, you've got guarding or taking damage. You know, there's a lot of little details that can definitely increase your chances of winning while not relying on triggers. Do triggers play a role in this game? Absolutely. Triggers are one of the most, no matter how good you are, if you're playing perfectly other side than getting triggers and your opponent is double critting you every turn, then yeah, obviously, you know, your opponent is going to be able to get that advantage. But if we assume that both players have an equal amount of stacking triggers, obviously the more skilled player, the one that is more attentive to details and more just a better player in general, will have the higher chance of winning. So then I think any card games require a lot of skill. Well, the only two card games that I've played are Vanguard and Yugioh, and I don't think Yugioh. I think Yugioh is a little more. Well, there are cases in Yugioh. Well, right now, when I used to play before all this fucking wind-ups and Dino Rabbit and all this shit, I don't know, I like that format. The format of March 2011... No, September 2010 to March 11. I like that format. That format was good. But, yeah, now it's just fucking summon Rabbit into some stupid 2 Dino Xyz shit. And that's not skill. Before, I like that format a lot better. The old format. Plant Synchro was really the only derp deck. And I played HerO Beat, and there are a lot of games where it took a fair amount of thinking to determine what was the best thing to do at the time. So I think Yugioh used to require a bit more thinking than it does now, but now it's just, especially if we're playing a top deck in Yugioh right now, it's just throw cards on the field, throw up a bunch of shit, and then just win, and this is stupid. How set 4 affect the meta, and then how will set 5 affect the meta? Set 4 has D-Police, the Doggies, Garmor for Royal Paladin. Shit, what else does set 4 have? I can't say much about set 4 because I can't remember exactly what it has. Set 5 though is much bigger. It has MLB, it has Neo Nectar, it has Dragonic Overlord of the End, Phantom Bastard Overlord. Set 4 is Shadow Paladins. Well, just set 4 Shadow Paladins are pretty bad. I don't think set 4 will actually do much other than make some clans playable, and other than that, yeah, I don't think set 4 will actually do much. I can't think of anything that from set 4 that is actually like huge. I can't think of anything right now, but yeah, set 5, I mean, obviously has the X big 3, PBO, Dragonic Overlord of the End, and MLB. Those will definitely affect the meta. A lot of people will be playing Dragonic Overlord of the End. A lot of people will be playing MLB. So they'll affect the meta by just simply adjusting decks to be able to hit 17 and 18k, which are the magic numbers, against 12 and 13k Vanguards more easily. That's about it. That's all I can really see. Like, for example, Airmo clones in some decks will just be like, eh. For example, Pedal Fairy, I see some people run Pedal Fairy and OTT. That probably won't be any good anymore because we'll be hitting 17k against the Dragonic Overload at the end, just like a low block for 5. So, yeah. Little stuff like that. At this point, since we have set 7, set 6, and I think we'll have set 8 before set 5 comes out, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, we'll have a lot of, like, we have a bunch of support that Japan didn't have when their set 5 came out, so it's going to be a lot easier to be able to hit these numbers. So I think they're much more Dragonic Overlay and MLB, cross-rides in general were a lot more broken when Set 5 first came out in Japan than when it comes out in English. So yeah, I think it'll affect the meta just a tad bit, not by a lot, to be honest, not by a lot. People will just start maybe whoring Dragonic Overlay at the end or something, I don't know. We'll see. Do I play English or Japanese? Both. I have 2 English decks, 2 Japanese decks. I'm building Angel Feather in English, and I have my Royal Paladin in English, and I have a Pale Moon Japanese deck. What's my favorite deck regardless of tier? My favorite deck, I think, always and will be Royal Paladin. I just love them, and regardless of tier, Royal Paladin all the way. Do you even... Yeah, this question, do you think the reason so many gold paladins top the qualifiers or even win is because of the volume of gold paladins being played? For instance, I read 30% of the decks in Seattle were gold paladins, so with the law of averages, would that not mean gold were bound to be in the top? That's exactly what I have been saying since the beginning of these qualifiers, where everybody was like, oh my god, gold paladin top, they must be top tier, and then you see that 50% of the people play gold paladin. Well, no shit, they're gonna top. That's all that's being played at that qualifier. So yes, I do think this is exactly what I think. I think that the reason why so many gold paladins top qualifiers is because of the volume of gold paladins being played. And to be honest, it's kind of sad that it's actually increasing the number of gold paladin players. Like this French qualifier that happened yesterday, 60% of players were playing gold paladin, and I think that's fucking stupid. And that's exactly what was happening in Japan when Barkle was out, and everybody was like, herp derp Royal Paladin, and then Barkle gets banned. So I can see Bushiroad doing something about this, because it's fucking stupid seeing gold Paladin everywhere. And it's just, especially in a game where it's supposed to be it's not supposed to be like so set in tiers like in Yu-Gi-Oh, where Dino Rabbits beats most of everything most of the time. It's not like that in Vanguard at all. Vanguard is so volatile of a game that it actually, anything can win. But because everybody's whoring to this one clan, everybody thinks that it's good, which means more people will whore to it, and it's just a cycle that never ends until hopefully Bushiroad steps in and does something. I heard Palamutes is a terrible card. Do you agree? Yes, I agree. Palamutes is awful. So bad. Worst card ever made. What's my username for League of Legends? That's a secret. I'm really bad, and all I'll do is embarrass myself. So, don't bother adding me on League of Legends. Use Gormor to superior called Dendrain or Lopier? Dendrain? The only thing I can see you wanted to call Lopier is during your battle phase, like for example Vivian hits or something, because then you can, or Spring Breeze Messenger or something, to go to second to Pelennor once after your Vanguard is attacked. But if you ride my Gormor, you call Dendrain, like it's a +2, like card from your deck to your field, and then you Soul Blast to draw a card. That's the easiest +2 of your life. Call Dendrain. Does any other difference in skill people play Cardfight Capital? Yes, they do. But since everybody's on a different server, it would be useless if I tell you their names, because Chan barely goes on, but I know this guy does a fair amount. But I don't know on what server. You're gonna have to PM to ask. Another good question. Do you think cross-rides like Dragon Covilian, Match Lord Blaster, PBO, or are other clans good enough now to limit break, etc., to compete with them? Yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Cross-ride's still superior. I don't think they're superior. I think, to be honest, when they come out, they'll be... Like, back then, it was obvious that these cards were power creeping, so they were, like, at the top. But now, with these cards coming out, in terms of with the English sets being out and new cards being announced, I think they'll be like just average power creep cards. Like they'll be just average power creep. Like, do you guys know what I mean? Like when set 5 came out in Japan, these cards, there was like nothing that's ever seen before. Like MLB permanent +1 crit. What is this? like Dragonic over the end, permanent 13k. What is this? Like it was completely new, but now with all the crap that's coming out, I think they're just gonna be average cards that are gonna do perfect. They're gonna do well, obviously, because they're crossfights and stuff. But I don't think they're like super superior or anything. I think they'll just do fine. And I think English meta in general will deal with them fine. What are the top clans to use for building a mixed deck? Well, first of all, I don't recommend your build to build a mixed deck because then stuff becomes complicated. Like the only mixes I can think of would be like Nubatama Kagero, and that's it. Don't really go for a mixed deck. I'm not quite sure what you would try to attempt. Like what would be the winning image of a mixed deck. So what are the top clans? Like Kagero is usually used when building mixed decks. I guess for availability of their cards and commons and stuff. But I don't see why you would want to do that. Why do I think of Maelstrom? It's fucking good. It's fucking good. Do I think Aquifer is going to be a top tier clan? I think going to be pretty good. I don't think they're going to be top tier as of yet, but they're going to be pretty good. They're going to be pretty good. They require a lot of setup to be actually like fully to be at their fullest potential. They need a really good setup. Like they need like a specific setup. You need like the columns. You need like a booster and attacker, and then 2 swappers here. So you attack, swap, attack, attack, and then your 4th attack for Maelstrom or whatever. 26k after poking 3 times. So that's kind of good, yeah. But that's like at the most ideal field setup. So I don't think they're gonna be top tier, like very top tier, especially against once set 5 comes out. I mean, all the cards that have to attack to gain power boost, like have to attack the Vanguard, and then if you're attacking a 12 or 13k Vanguard, they don't even hit. So like the swappers will be useless, and will have to attack rear guards that are 9k or lower, or 10k or lower. So yeah, I think they're gonna be okay, but they're gonna be pretty good. They're gonna be above average, that's for sure. How old am I? I'm 19. What clan did I see at Seattle qualifiers that shocked me? I can't really think of like a clan that shocked me, but what I found was pretty weird was my first round opponent. He played a mix of Nubatama and Nova Grappler, because I guess he was trying to use Void Masters to take cards from my hand, counterblast 1, and then use like Mr. Invincible and other Nova Grappler cards to unflip that damage. But it didn't really work because it didn't have any boosters. And then even when I did let him hit my Galahad or something, he didn't even bother to use the effect. So I was like, yeah, that was just a weird game. Although, yeah, it was an interesting idea, that's for sure. But I guess it didn't work out really well, and I wouldn't exactly take that deck to as a qualifier. If I had to play either Gold or Royal, which one would you choose and why? Royal. I think most people know my answer to that question. I already play Royal. I think they are the more consistent deck. They just lack what Royal Paladin. Okay, I'm gonna go on off rant here. What Royal Paladin need is a card that can finish the goddamn game. I was playing against the Tsukiyomi guy, my last round opponent in the qualifiers, with Royal Paladin. I had a Palamedes out, I had my Alfred, and I had some other X rearguard and booster combo. I think it was grade 2 and a grade 1, doesn't really matter. But I just couldn't do anything to take his hand down. Like, even Palamedes, like, I was like, oh, swing for 15, and then they just take it. And then, so, like, yeah, it's, like, other than, like, Palamedes just isn't good enough anymore. Like, it's good. It's really good. But it's not good enough to just finish the game anymore, especially against hand-sized monsters such as Tsukiyomi and Gold Paladin. Royal Paladin just lack that oomph to be able to finish the game, like something like Spectral Duke Dragon, you know, something like even Tsukiyomi can finish the game off like fast, like with Silent Tom. They have Silent Tom. Like Soul Saber Dragon just doesn't cut it anymore. It's just, it requires setup, it requires field setup, it requires soul setup. It's just really, really hard to get off consistency, and it's just really, really hard to finish a game when you're just so close to winning, but then you just can't finish it because you're playing Royal Paladin and they don't have shit to finish. Royal Paladin need a good goddamn limit break. Pendragon was a fucking joke of a limit break, seriously. Compared to all this shit that's coming out now, like, you guys seen the new Nova Grappler limit break, okay? When coming in Extra Booster 4, here's what it does. You ride it. If you can rest, one Nova Grappler rearguard to gain 3k. Okay, so I just rest something for free. So just rest something. It's like, oh, HerO, why so broken about it? Okay, well, it's activate, so you can use it more than once. So okay, okay, I just rested my whole field. Now what? What's so good about it? Limit break 4, counterblast 2, stand all your units. If 4 or more were stood by this effect, gains 1 critical. Oh, you mean I can counterblast 2? They gain 15k power and 1 critical? Sounds fair. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Like seriously, Royal Paladin could definitely use something like that. Something to push for games. Something to take more cards from your opponent's hand. Because it's fucking stupid that we get Pendragon, the most useless limit break in the world. And I'm sad. And Bushiroad, I want a better limit break for Royal Paladin. And give it to me, please. Plus K, thanks. Could you show us the deck you played at Seattle? Thanks. I uploaded that. I uploaded last week or something. It's up there. What do you think of BTO9? BTO9. What's in BTO9, guys? I haven't looked up new stuff. Has anything even been announced for BTO9? I don't know. I can't give an opinion on something that I don't know about. All I know is I've seen the Dark Azel, yeah, this thing, the Dark Azel cover. And if that's a cross-ride, I'm gonna kill myself. What do you consider the best Vanguard clan currently in existence? This question is really vague. In terms of being the best competitively, I don't know. What would be the best competitive clan? I can't really answer that question. I can't really. Everything is just so different and plays so different. There's nothing really that's the best clan. In terms of what I like the best, Royal Paladin all the way. I'm just gonna go through one more check, see if I missed any good question. How do you deal with misride? You vomit your whole hand on the field and hope they have a hand bunch of full of grade 3s, and then they can't guard it anyway. When do you guard with a perfect guard? Generally when you would have to use 3 or more cards to guard the attack otherwise. For example, a beefed up Azel or something. Or an on-hit effect that would, like, let's say, yeah, like if something has a non-hit effect, let's say Dragonic Overlord the end, it's like, oh, I can guard this for 15, but do you really want to risk them getting a double trigger all on their Vanguard and then they stand and then you have to guard it again or else you lose? Well, they drive check 2 more times anyway, so yeah. I would rather perfect guard if I had a perfect guard in my hand. Instead of just giving him 20k, I'd rather just give him a perfect guard. So yeah, on-hit effects, strong on-hit effects, and when you would otherwise have to use 3 or more cards to guard, if you don't have any 10k shields, for example. I won first, right? Yes, I did. Do you know karate? No, I don't. Can you make a video of karate chopping away to first? Actually, I didn't karate chop my way to first, so I can't karate chop. How's Life is the best rapper in the world? It's pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good. How would the meta have been different if Yugioh 3 had not been released? Well, Kagero would really only have one competitive build because there would be no Lawkeeper. Spike Brothers would still be a relatively crappy deck because of no Deadly Emperor, Reckless Express, etc. Limit Break. Royal Paladin would still be able to limit break in general instead of just a good limit break. Spectral Duke Dragon. Maybe less people would be whoring to Gold Paladin. That would be nice. Worst card ever made. Oh, wait, my bad. That's a comment to me. I mean, that's my comment. I thought someone was asking what the worst card ever made, I think was. I think the worst card ever made is Paladins. Okay, I think that's it. Those are all the questions. And yep, that was the Q&A that I was gonna do, which I just did, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, Chan is back, so we'll having more videos up soon because Chan does that stuff, make videos and stuff. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting us, keep subscribing, etc. And yep, thanks guys for watching. HerO's out.